Hello everybody, it's Bourbon Bill, and tonight, a very special episode. We're pulling back the curtains, we're busting open the books. That's right, we're doing a behind-the-scenes tour of Bourbon Bill's collection. Some of you have asked for this, and it's like, why the heck not? You can see what I got. So, fasten your seatbelts and buckle up for safety, because it's going to be a wild ride. Let's head over to the room, aka the water closet. Alright, you've wanted a tour of Bourbon Bill's whiskey collection. And this is where it starts. A nondescript door and wall. Let's advance. What? It's a water closet. That's right. Rita makes me keep all my bourbon in a water closet. So as you can see, I talk a lot about this. There's my Booker's, one of my Booker's boxes full of corks. Always keep them up there. Now we have a little tasting set that my wife got me. And of course a Green Eagle, because we're patriotic here on this channel. That's an empty bottle of Old Forester 150. And that's also just a decanter now, because Old Fitz is obviously good for a decanter. I believe that is like a Bourbon Bill's Poor Man Four Roses blend in there. It's a bunch of different barrel strength blends in there. I kept the Smoke Wagon bottle because it's cool, but I don't really like Smoke Wagon that much. So there you go. Now the cart down here has our colored Glens on it, and just some sample bottles people have sent that I'm drinking right now. Here's a sneak peek at a new review coming up. Should you buy the Hancock's Reserve? Probably not, but we'll get there. Secret note before we get to the actual collection. This is actually a Sagamore Spirit store pick in here, but these 375 Knob Creek 9 bottles make the best, and I repeat, the best flasks, because they're kind of flat, and it's got a Maker's Mark's corks, by the way, secret tip, fit into the Knob Creek bottle. So good synthetic cork from Maker's Mark in the top there, and boom, you got Bourbon Bill's custom flask. Then of course here we have my travel Glencairns for when I travel for work. You're seeing all the inner workings here. There's some packing material and things like that on the floor. Over here, some more Booker's boxes full of corks and more samples. There's just a ton of samples in there. We're not going to go through all them. Of course, the water inlet to the house. These little pictures were in my wife's house, or her apartment previous to when we got married. So they somehow ended up here in my bourbon closet. But this is what she came for. Bourbon Bill's collection. So we're going to go over all these. Got this in Vegas. Thought it was sweet as hell. Still have it. We have the 375 1920, 375 1910. There's a little bit of order to these shelves, but not a lot. So, kind of my Old Forester area here. Do have the good old Forester barrel strength, which if you watch my previous video, it's going to replace my 1920 when that goes away. So that's kind of the Old Forester line up there. Now here we have an Old Carter. It's going to say batch 10, but this is actually a 50-50 blend of Old Carter batch 9 and 10. I know. Me and a buddy each bought one, and they actually were better blended, so we split them and we each got a bottle. That's by itself. It's the only Old Carter I have. Big shout out to a longtime supporter, James. Bottled in Bond, Chattanooga, spring 2018. So this would have been like 2022 spring edition. So a year old now. This is the best bottle of Chattanooga I've had the pleasure of drinking. So if you can still find one of those, I'd grab it. That's also kind of by itself here. And then we get into more or less the Tater Spec Buffalo Trace edition here. So John J. Bowman, there's no need for you to buy crappy shit like Blanton's. John J. Bowman 100 proof satisfies all those needs pretty much. Also got a very small sample of Pappy Van Winkle 15. Haven't reviewed that yet. That's courtesy of my buddy Jason. Thank you, Jason, for that. You've seen this recently in a video, the Antique Weller 107 store pick from PA. It's alright, it's alright. And then I got my Stag Juniors. Now, we do love our... This one says Stag, but we still call them Stag Juniors. We got a batch 16, batch 17, and then the batch 18. Now, I know 19 and 20 are out right now, but we just don't have that yet in PA, and I haven't seen it. This here's a Master's Keep one bottle, which was not good, really not that great for the price, by the way. But it's now housing a Sherwood 14-year MGP, part of the Maryland Heritage Series. One of the best ryes out there. The cork like rotted off on it, and I got rid of the bottle and I put it in one of these. The Master's Keep bottles are fantastic for storing bourbon in them. Now, this is my little wild turkey corner here. Of course, we got the rare breed, because really, if you're not rocking rare breed, you're an idiot. And that's the end of the game right there. That's all we can say about that. Then we got a wild turkey unforgotten. One of the best burr ryes I've had. And then you're looking at batch 1 of Russell's 13 and then batch 3 Russell's 13. Delicious. Those, if you remembered 2021 and 2022, sort of, my best bourbons of the year, but they're fantastic. I can't wait to stack another one here for 2023 when they come out in PA. All right, we're moving down to the second shelf. Here we go. We got my Sagamore lineup here on the side. So this is a 375 of just Sagamore cask strength. Well, let's slide that aside. We got the distillery only port finish from 2022, which really smacked Midnight Winter's Dram. If you're a Midnight Winter's Dram fan, you're getting ripped off at $150 and the cheap swill they're putting in those bottles now. This was definitely much better for like $90. Behind that is going to be the awesome sherry finish they did as well from last year. Those were a wider release. The port was distillery only, but the sherry was a wider release. Pick one of those up if you haven't. And then behind that is going to be the 8-year from 2023. So this was the most recent release. They did do an 8-year back in like 2019 or 2020, but the 2023 is better. This is the 8-year from there. I just finished my Sagamore Double Oak pick, so that's gone, unfortunately. So now I kind of have just like a weird mix here. Woodford Batch Proof, 118.4, probably one of the best Woodford Batch Proofs ever. Also used to have a Peerless Double Oak Bourbon right here, but I drank it all because it was so good. I do have the Peerless Double Oak Rye left. So you saw that review like not that long ago. Look how much is out of this bottle now. I mean, I've been going back to this thing pretty much night after night. It's so good. The Peerless Double Oak Rye. Let's shift these around. Okay, behind the Woodford is Bardstown Discovery Series number 8. And really number 8 is the best thing they've done besides 4. And that's the truth of the matter. So pick up an 8. It's a burr rye. Really delicious. I love this one quite a bit. And then in the way back, not to be neglected, is just a good old Four Roses single barrel strength. This one happens to be an Argonaut wine and liquor pick from Colorado. OBSV. 10-year, 5-month. And boy, she's delicious. I'll tell you what. Love me a Four Roses single barrel proof. Alright, so now that we've gone over those, now we're going to get into like the Elijah Craig section. So this is the only larceny I have left. I did a review of all the larceny from last year, from 2022, but I drank them all. So the only one I have left is the C922, which was the best thing they've ever done, quite frankly, as far as larceny barrel proof goes. Enjoy that one quite a bit. But I came to realize I didn't love the larceny as much as I love the Elijah Craig. So I didn't buy any in 2023 so far. Didn't buy the A123. I don't know if I'll buy the B or the C. Honestly, the view counts on those videos weren't as high as Elijah Craig either. So it's like, I don't like it as much. View counts aren't as high. Guess no one cares. So if you care about larceny barrel proof, let me know. Maybe I'll pick one up or send me one. If you want me to review it, send me a sample. And then obviously following the Heaven Hill theme, this would be Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C920. A gift from my buddy Chris. Delicious bottle. One of the last great high proof 12 years at 133, well 132.8 proof. And then this is just A123, C922, B522, and A122 in the back. Just kind of lined up, waiting for the B and C batches for 2023, which we'll of course get. This row over here was actually my Wilderness Trail row. I had a weeded store pick, a bourbon store pick, a high rye bourbon store pick, and then a rye here store pick. The other ones are gone. Drank them all, loved them. The rye is probably my favorite, but it was the newest one, so I don't even have much of that left. But it's a Wilderness Trail barrel strength rye. If you're not drinking them, you're also an idiot. Those things are delicious. I just have a random 3-quart double oak pick MGP in here. It's a 7-year MGP. You don't see that too often. And then a Luca Mariano is in this row because Luca Mariano sources from Wilderness Trail, so it's Wilderness Trail juice. That one's almost 124 proof and 7-year, 7-month. So kind of old for Wilderness Trail. So that's why those are there, and then I just didn't have room to put the 3-quart anywhere else. Alright, we're going to move on down the rows. You know what these are, folks? These are for when people come over, kind of a row of little glasses, and these are actually from Costco, from the Italian desserts section. These make great little glasses for tasting and sniffing, like mini rocks glasses. Alright, on to the bourbon. Down another row, we have the Maker's Bep, which you saw released this week, or last week, sorry, was my Maker's Bep review. And then behind that is going to be my BRT1, and then BRT2 behind it. I drank the rest of my wood finishing series. I don't have them anymore. Now the rest of this row is going to be nothing but Jack Daniels and Knob Creek, and a little bit of Dickel. So I got the Dickel Bottled and Bond, which I do enjoy quite a bit. These are 13-year. Love that one. I'm sorry, we have like an overflow. These JD bottles don't stack very well. Then back there is going to be your Dickel 15-year single barrel, also very good. We have a little 375 Chris Fletcher pick of Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. We have, of course, the world famous Coy Hill. We have my Creston's Wine and Spirits number 3 pick, which is darker. And then that's my Jack Daniel's 10-year batch 1. So didn't get the 12-year batch 2, or the 10-year batch 2, or the 12-year. I kept this Angel's Envy thing here because I'm going to give that to my wife for her birthday. But right here is the Jack Daniel's single barrel rye, just a 94 proof. Little 375 as well. Then we get into my Knob Creeks. Sorry, that's an old Creston's tag for my first bottle that I killed. This is the Toasted Pecan series, distillery series. My good buddy James sent me that straight from Tennessee, so thank you, James. And then we get into Knob Creek Store Pick Rye. Then behind that, we gotta pull it out. Is one of my favorite bottles of all time. Knob Creek 12 Cast Strength Limited Edition. Kind of an unknown bottle, but one of the top 5 bourbons of all time. It's very good if you ever find that. Then we got just a regular, this is a Creston's from Delaware, store pick 9-year Knob Creek. Good old Knob Creek 12. These are in order by age. Notice the, Marie Kondo style here. Knob Creek 15. And then good old Knob Creek 18 back there. I threw away the box because I don't got room for that shit on here. And that's just about it. We're on to the bottom shelf. So this is the bottom shelf, which houses some odd stuff and then my sealed backup bottles, which I do not have. If you noticed, all my bottles have been opened so far, except a few you're going to see on this shelf. So this is Widow Jane Decadence. Delicious stuff. Widow Jane Lucky 13. Also delicious stuff. And probably the best thing Widow Jane's put out, Widow Jane 10-year anniversary. So that's my little Widow Jane collection. Then I got my 1792s. This is a foolproof store pick from Fine Wine and Good Spirits. What I think's the best, the age 12 year 1792. Then I kind of got my Remus. So this is a Remus 5. Really enjoyed that one. That's a delicious bottle. Remus Gatsby Reserve. Didn't get a Remus 6 because Remus 6 was, I tried it, but terribly young compared to Remus 5. They really screwed that up. There's my Remus Gatsby. Also been enjoying that one. I mean, that won't last too much longer. My good old 14-year pick of Lucky 7 Proprietor at 134.5 proof. Barton Juice, by the way. And then back here, the best thing I own, the Heaven Hill 17-year. Was lucky enough to get this bottle at MSRP. As you can see, I've enjoyed that one quite a bit, but I do try to save it. It's probably the only bottle I try to save because it is the best thing I've ever had, period, and certainly have ever owned. Bottle of Booker's, which Booker's is okay, but I just don't drink it enough. I actually prefer, the Knob Creek lineup or a JD over the Booker's, but it's a 2022-02. This one is pretty good from Booker's. I do have a Balmorea from Garrison Brothers. That's pretty good. I do have, you saw the review on this one, an Old Fitz 19-year. Delicious. The 17 and 19 are really good, but I only have a 19-year. Calumet 16. I did have a Sam Houston 15 at one time, but drank it. It's gone. Down to the Calumet 16. I hope they release one this year, like a 17 or something. Really looking forward to that. I do love these quite a bit. Now, this is it. These 4 bottles are my only sealed bottles. A supporter of the channel sent me another Crescent's Wine and Spirits number 3 that was sealed. So that's my favorite store pick of all time. I've mentioned that. It's just older and darker than most store picks, and it's just better. Got another 4 Roses single barrel strength. These are really hard to come by in PA. So like they come out like in mass maybe once a year, so you better get a backup if you want one. This one I believe is a different recipe. Yeah, this is an OESF. That's 11 years and 7 months. So a little bit older, different recipe than what I have open up there. But when I finish that one, I'll open that one. A backup of my Knob Creek 12 cash strength. And that's right, a backup sealed Jack Daniel's Coy Hill, because it's one of my favorites of all time. That one's a different barrel house. That's barrel house 11. The one that's open's barrel house 8. And the one that's open's 144 proof. That one's 142. And then just a sealed Woodford batch proof, 118.4. The secret is I've gone through one complete bottle of that already. It was so good, and I'm like, more than a fourth has gone from the one right there, so I'm tearing through those. And I wanted to have a sealed one that would make it to when they came out with their batch proof for 2023, because I'm definitely going to get that and wanted to try it. So that's what that's there for. And that's it, folks. When they say that's all she wrote, I don't have a ton of bottles like some of the other YouTubers have thousands of bottles. That's not really how we roll here. I don't have that. That's it. As you can see, I drank all of them. I try to save some for different reviews and things like that. But once I drink them and they're gone, I kind of replace them with something else. Unless I really love them. So I'm always going to try to keep a Russell's 13 around. Always keep a rare breed around. Always keep an Old Forester 1910. Always keep a John J. Bowman. Always keep some Sagamores around, and I'll probably always keep a Peerless Double Oak and Double Oak Bourbon and Rye around. I gotta go buy a Double Oak Bourbon. Don't sell them in PA. Always gonna keep some Elijah Craig Barrel Proofs around for sure. Always gonna keep some Wilderness Trails around. Do like those. I'll be curious to see what Maker's doing differently next year. But I'll always keep a Maker's around. I do like their stuff. Always gonna keep the Knob Creeks around. At least the 12 and a 9-year store pick. At least those, if I can't. I mean, the 15 and 18 are too limited now, but I'll keep the 9 and the 12 year around. Always going to keep me a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof around. On the lookout for a barrel proof rye. See how I enjoy that. I'm sure I'm going to like that one too. I always keep one of the Widow Janes around. I really do. The Decadence or the 10-year anniversary I'll probably keep around. Always try to keep a Barton juice around. I do like Barton, so the Calumet 16 or the Lucky 7. More limited, but I'll keep one of them around for sure. Then always going to try to keep a Four Roses single barrel proof around. Do love those. And I'll most likely always keep a good Dickel, probably just the bottled in bond. The 15 year is good, but it's not worth necessarily the price jump that some of them are. And of course, being single barrel, it's kind of, could be better, could be worse type of deal. But I'll always keep one of the bottled in bond Dickels around. They're pretty good. 1792. Once I finish that foolproof, probably won't replace it. I do like the 12 year, but they're just pretty hard to come by. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the tour of Bourbon Bill's collection in the water closet. So if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button, everyone. Thanks. Have a good evening.